Hey, today we're going to talk about replacing a spring on the Opus1 Gouger, as well as installing the little aluminum collars that go inside the spring hole on the clips. Today we're going to replace a broken spring on a gouger and also install these little aluminum collars into the clip at the point where the spring attaches, so that it makes it stronger in the connection. Sometimes the spring can pull through the plastic of the clip. Doesn't happen very often, but it has happened in the past, so this is a fix that will prevent that from happening in the future. So the first thing to do is take off the parallels. This is an older style set of parallels where it's just a block. The newer gougers have standard parallels, and you'll see 2 screws at the bottom and this 1 screw in the middle. Leave the bottom ones alone because that will stay on the machine, the bottom parallel. But you want to take off the top parallel, which will expose the axles to the clips. So that's done this way. Take an Allen wrench, take out this center screw, like that. Put that there. In this case, take off this block parallel, or the top parallel of the double set, and you'll notice we have the 2 axles, and the clips are held in by the axles and a spring in the center. So we first need to remove the axle by pushing with your Allen wrench from the back and push forward, and that lets the clip come out. Do that on both sides, and the clip now comes out on both sides. So the second step is to remove the spring from the clip. Now this part's a little bit tricky because you don't want the spring to get stuck into your finger. So pull out the clip, give enough room there so you can pull it out, and you'll have some slack there. Now look for the opening in the hook. There's a little circle and there's an opening that allows the clip to come off. Now don't just release the clip right now, because the hook could get into your finger. So take a smaller Allen wrench and put it through the circle of the hook, just to give it something to hold on to. And then holding the left clip, let it pop through. If you let it pop through without holding this clip, it'll shoot across the room. So now we have that clip out. Now inside here you will see, if it focuses, there is a little collar, aluminum collar that's been pressed inside there. That's the collar right there. And what you do is you'll put the collar over the hole and slightly press, and it'll start to go in. And then once it starts to go in, I already have one in there now, you'll take some pliers and we'll press the collar in further until it ends up at the center of the clip, and that gives you a little metal collar inside there so that it gives some strength. Now putting this back in the gouger is not so difficult. We'll do it to both sides, by the way. So, and putting it back, take the left-hand clip first, put it into the opening of the gouger, put the pin into the front of the bed, and then move the clip around until the axle of the clip lines up, and push it in a little bit further so it bottoms out at the bottom. Now we have to pull this clip through the bed, and you can use a clothes hanger, which has got a little hook, like a crochet hook at the end, or this is a little piece of metal that I ground a little hook at the end of it, just like a little Dremel tool, and just ground a little bit of an angled hook. And I will put it through the bed like this until it comes out the other end. See over here? And that clip for the right side, the opening here, is going to now go into that little crochet hook on the rod, and I'm going to pull it through the bed. So, and leave a little bit of, hold it some pressure there so it doesn't slip out. And so I'm pulling it now through the bed. So I'll pull it out and I'll grab it a little bit below, and I will then take the clip that now has that little aluminum collar in it and put it back onto the spring. Now I'll sometimes practice doing this before I reinstall the spring, just to make sure I can get the hook in, the spring hook in easily. So then put in the other axle once that's there. Now here you have to pull this spring, the clip back a little bit, and you have to align the hole. And when you find the hole to that axle, then you push it through and it goes in, and then you push that in a little further so it bottoms out, and then both your clips are working. Then reinstall your parallels in the front. Take your locking screw. Now a critical step here is you want to make sure that the parallels are seated correctly. You don't want to have it just loose when you tighten them, because what happens as you tighten the screw, the parallels can pitch up a little bit. So I press down on both sides of the parallels as I take my wrench and tighten it back down tightly. Okay, but I'm pressing down really hard on both sides of the parallels. Now you'll notice if you don't do that and it does pitch, it'll go up like this some. So it'll be higher on this side than on this side, and that'll cause you to gouge uphill. So which means you could be getting thinner here, it's thicker here, and most thick at this end. And of course when you flip it, it gets thin again on the first side. So the final result will be thin on the ends and thicker in the middle. And if you notice that, that's because your parallels aren't straight. You know, they aren't exactly flat. So just take them off, take your hands off, and take the parallels, loosen them up again, and then press both sides down really firmly, and then retighten it, and gouge again, and double check that it works out flat. And that's really all there is to it. That's how you change your spring and put in these little collars on a gouger. Okay, thanks guys.